Anyway, that was my rant about Wicked. Let's not kill somebody or kill somebody. Where are we now?
We're on an investigation.
What's happening? Oh yeah, we're in the school. We're in the school now.
20 minutes later, we can play the
I'm
game.
sorry.
Hello.
I just wanted to show my makeup, okay?
Oh!
Sure.
I still get hidden Monokumas?
They're all glitchy and shit.
Let me see. I didn't realize that was a thing still.
Glitchy Kumas.
Yeah.
Mono glitch. I'm hungry.
They sure did give me an objective to look at. I don't remember what it was.
There are indeed hidden Monokumas. There's one in the starting area that you were in.
Yeah.
So we'll want to go back to the classroom.
Huh? That's weird. This is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnasium, but it's clearly different. Is Monokuma trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps doing it over and over again. He's so persistent.
Chiaki, break me out of the Matrix.
I'm not gonna fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me back down.
I have bad news.
Yeah?
You cannot go back.
Oh.
So we missed one. Sad.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll have to restart the chapter if you want to get the hidden Monokuma that you missed. I don't know if you want to restart it right now because we have to go through all of the conversation that happened at the gym.
Well, I mean, you could always skip through it because we already did it.
You could just blow past it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to restart and get the hidden boy.
Because we're not that far in. Do I have to restart or like chapter select, you mean?
It just says, you'll have to repeat the chapter.
So like here? Where is this? Let's see where this is. Yes, I chose
Danganronpa.
Where is this? The door.
Same brain. Yeah, this works.
Walk faster, Hajime.
My eyeballs.
I thought I'd looked pretty
The
thorough.
balls
Oh, he's
in
up
my
in the
eyes.
fucking rafters. I see him right now. Shut up.
We were in shock at the time, so it's fine.
Go,
I guess we also
Hajime.
weren't expecting more hidden Monokumas, so...
Ding dong, bing bong. Oh! Oh, we were thoroughly creeped out when we got here the first time. Sorry, this is the first playthrough, but I mean, like, you, aside from restarting the- Let me-
This is our very first playthrough of the game in total, but this specific section we are redoing so that we can get the hidden Monokuma doll.
Money. I guess I should, for posterity. Make sure, no. That's not what I meant to press. I wanted to tab. Oh yeah, iron plates on there. This sure is Hope Speak Academy. Hajime. This clock doesn't have any hands. It's meaningless.
It is handless. There's no arms or legs either.
Oh my god.
Alright, we gotta get back to... Sheesh. Gymnasium. Run. Nope, the other way. Gymnasium. Gymnasium.
We're sprinting.
Gym.
We don't even need the gym. We're already working out. Oh man, there's so many good things this chapter. Y'all are gonna love it.
Alright, we've got only three play days to finish this game. Before the Christmas, and then it'll be a really long, awkward pause before we could actually finish the game.
We're all gonna come back to the final one and be like, what happened?
What are we?
Who voiced who?
Wow. Could you imagine if Monokuma sounded like Mickey Mouse?
Oh.
He did when I voiced him. He did the one session I had to do it.
You guys are in for a real treat.
Nemo, can I get one?
I don't believe it!
Yay, okay, continuing on.
It was a good warm-up, let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome to this killing school life.
The time is now 10 p.m.
Okay, wait, I need them all to be Disney characters now.
It's execution time.
I'm gonna make Kazuichi
no.
Goofy.
No, I was just gonna say that, but I was like, don't do that to Goofy. If anything, Kazuichi
Right?
is Crazy Pete.
Where's Miss Sonia?
Right, but that's
he's
perfect,
Pete.
though.
But he's totally Pete.
I know
Right?
he's like, but yeah, but like.
But then again, so is
what's so
Byakuya.
funny?
Actually.
Well, what about what about Fuyuhiko as Goofy then?
Donald would be Byakuya. Absolutely.
What's the apple? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, man. Make everyone Donald Duck. Oh dear.
I can't do it.
Oh
can't.
no.
Perfect.
Oh god.
You hate how perfect
Oh,
it
but
is.
that makes voice-wise, that would make Monomi Minnie Mouse.
Aww. I do love Minnie Mouse.
And her voice is actually very appropriate for Usami. Like,
and that would make it so that Mickey is punching Minnie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Would you
Listen,
say it's
this
a
is
cowabummer?
A
I would
complete
say it's a
AU.
cowabummer.
Complete AU.
Oh man, I only get like one more month of saying that.
Better get them all out now.
Why only one more month?
He changes
'Cause then
his
I have to
phrase every
change-
year.
I gotta
That's
change
just-
my catchphrase.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
his phrase
Lord.
every year.
Yeah.
Can we have a revival of Cowabummer?
And maybe we can look at that maybe in a couple of years. We can put it to we can get it like
From the vault?
yeah, bring it back from the vault.
I'm sorry, can we say Cowabummer Chris's version?
I mean,
From the vault.
in a couple of years we can talk about getting it syndicated, but until then,
I hate you.
What about we make it the Bug Snacks version and call it Cowabunger?
Cowabunga bunga bunga.
Cowabunga.
and you start doing that, you're getting a copyright lawsuit on your hands.
No, I'll
That just
file
sounds like you
for-
and Bugsnax collabed into making an actual food.
I'll just put it through as parody.
Parody, that's true.
Hmm.
You can't catch me on parody.
I can certainly try.
Alright, everybody.
I certainly try.
Come on.
Okay, Nintendo.
Wow, we really did talk a lot. Jesus.
Yeah.
We really talked a lot in this gym.
I told you.
God. Alright.
Yeah. But nah, I gotta come up with next year's catchphrase.
It's so much work. Is that instead of a resolution?
Basically, yeah.
Fair. I've completed one resolution in my life, and I'm never gonna try again. I'm still in the midst of my resolution from 2 years ago.
That didn't take so
Oh,
long.
nice.
Look like
With my 900 and something day
Money.
streak on Duolingo.
Alright, now that we're here again.
Save.
The next one, I will let you know when we're there,
Okay.
so I'm not spoiling.
Just be like, it's in this room, don't leave. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. I'm gonna have my realization that the hallway's different. Blah dee doo da da. Okay, all
Oh
caught
my
up.
god, the walls. The walls are glitching.
But yeah, I'm not in the gym's not here anymore. Okay. This hallway has a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement. Ah, we're in a video game, you see, Sonia. Is it just me? You mean this? You mean this Dark Souls looking door? So I'm assuming I can't go in anything that's glitched out.
Yeah. Are we getting railroaded right now?
Dojo!
Absolutely. We are 100% getting railed.
The dojo!
Gavin, that's not what I said.
Railroaded. That's what I said.
It's full of strange things that make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of the building to make sense.
I 100% bring out the chaos of Monokuma when I play
What
this.
the
from
hell is
Hifumi.
this?
Oh,
It's a manga.
Manga for morons.
what is that?
That's my kind of manga.
Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma?
There you go.
It's
There
a
you go.
cute girl. That's adorable.
That's absolutely what it says.
Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this?
Let's start with history first. Class. Sorry, I have a cold, so this is going to be a little weird. Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. Okay.
So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. So fine. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is.
My tired brain was like, I'll look at anything that's cute. And I'm like,
This is dangerously cute.
Let's read this manga.
I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, as narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-funded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the ones who scout them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this we know the Togami clan and they're suffering from funding? Anyway. If this persists, the Academy believes they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent. So they decided to implement a new system. The Reserve Department. Unlike the main department, who scouts for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees for the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most high schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to the talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand.
my brand.
Calling out Hajime and or his family. With this,
They funded Hope's Peak.
apparently, Hope's Peak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unprecedented incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right. It was the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by this incident, and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end.
Wow, that sure explained nothing.
I didn't tell anything about what happened with Makoto.
I mean, it at least told us what the purpose of the reserve course really was to get funding for the school. And we already found out from the laptop, more or less, that the reserve course was the ones that rebelled. To me right now, as a more or less, brand new player, the implication of that to me was that the killingness that started in the first game, because we walked into that one classroom on the 3rd floor that was covered in bloodstains and chalk outlines. I assume the reserve course did that. I
guess this manga also served as a great recap for everything we've learned so far.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty much what it did, yeah.
Huh? The ending was so sudden, like a manga that's been cancelled in the middle of its run. And these phrases mentioned at the end of the manga. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. They're so melodramatic. There's no way these— oh, shut up, Hajime. The manga
There's
only—
no way this could happen.
no, dude, what do you mean there's no— at this point, thinking there's no way something can happen is just dumb. You've seen so much unbelievable crap.
You've seen a man turn into a robot.
Yeah.
And then die.
We've seen plushies come to life and blow each
And
other
then
up.
die.
And then die.
It'd be a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something. The reserve department was only built to collect money. I was one of those reserve corps students, right?
That's weird.
Oh, you're here again.
The thing that's weird is you, of course.
Huh?
Why did you forget that you were part of the reserve department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So, I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that too.
Huh? What?
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of those reserve course students. You willingly sealed those memories yourself. Goodness. You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memories of what happened. It happens pretty often, not that I know anything about that, though.
You saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it.
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a reserve course student. Rude. That was
heck?
freaking rude, but he's right.
Okay, we got a truth bullet.
I hate when he's right about stuff, because he's such an asshole about it.
Mhm. Armor and a helmet. Did the map developers design this to reflect a Japanese culture?
The map
The map
developer?
developers? Yeah.
We're getting real meta for a moment here.
Okay, Hajime.
You mean
I'm in a game.
the school architects, bro? That's
Not
what you
the map
meant, right?
developers. Right?
This cherry tree isn't in full bloom. It may be a tasteful sight to see a blooming cherry tree inside a dojo. But in this situation, it just looks bizarre. I think it looks lovely. Same deal? Full blossoms. This falling petals add to the elegance of the scene. If Hiyoko and Peko were here, it would have looked truly picturesque. Why, Hajime? You're gonna hurt me. Us. That target seems pretty far away. If the production team had more time, there could have been a mini-game. What is happening? Wait, what am I saying?
You exactly.
Hajime! There's a straw post. I guess that means it was used for training. There are a bunch of wooden lockers here. Each of them has a traditional looking wood block key sticking out of them. I guess they're just for show. There's nothing in particular that looks like a clue. Moment of truth, am I still in the same hallway? Clue, alright.
Sonia's not there
How
anymore.
did I get here? I came from this direction.
You
No,
came
Sonia's
out.
still here. She should be over here. Nope, I lied.
I didn't mean to be right.
I also couldn't. Yeah. No!
Ah!
You're the last person I ever want to jump scare me. I'm gonna kick you in the nuts.
You and me just both at the same. Ah!
The way that you clearly moved your mouse because you just like all over the screen for a second, like, yeah, I see how that got you.
This hallway, it's kind of creepy. I can't go to places that I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something.
That's exactly what Sonia said.
Like a cube of force.
Like...
A force cube, if you will.
That's a spell from Dungeons and Dragons.
Shut up! another manga. A violin.
Why is this room
This like white leopard print.
zebra pattern?
Giraffe?
Giraffe?
It's definitely
Giraffe.
Yeah. Don't diss the giraffe room.
I feel
Another
like it's
manga.
not orange enough to be giraffe.
The
Giraffes
pattern.
are
They're not
Orange.
actually giraffe. They're not actually orange.
They're brown and white, but
Yeah.
also,
Yeah, yellowish maybe.
but also, we didn't say colored. We said patterned. That's...
Manga for morons again. The Tragedy of Host Week Academy.
I like the man with the gun on the cover.
Wasn't the Tragedy of Host Week Academy mentioned in another manga too? That's why Host Week Academy went bankrupt. And it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, and most awful event in human history. We said it so much in the first game. No, I don't miss it. GG2. If I read this, will I be able to learn more about the incident? I don't know, Hajime.
I guess in this game's
Jesus.
defense, it came out however many
Yeah,
months,
years.
years after the first one.
I took the manga from the desk and started reading it. See what I could learn about the event known as Tragedy of Host Week Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is Niwo go.
Okay. As the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamakura.
Oh, I wasn't expecting a name drop. Okay.
Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who was known as a symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and conceal the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of reserve corps students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident.
Oh.
The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
Oh, so do we still not know what the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history was?
No, we know what that is. We just didn't know what led to it and caused it to happen.
Well, because I thought
Like the way that the first the way the first game like explained it was sort of like it just happened. This actually explained that there was like an uprising and that there was things that led to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the first game didn't go into any real specifics either.
No, because the first game, like, we found out it happened a year ago by the end of the game, and we had been locked in the school for however
that
long.
first class was literally locked in basically right after.
And so when Junko shows like the images on screen of like the people rioting, wearing the Monokuma masks, like destroying the world, that all was caused by the most tragic event in human history, which was basically just everything going to shit at Hope's Peak and causing the world to fall apart.
Oh,
So.
okay. Because
The
the
short form.
tragedy at Hope's Peak Academy is the murder of the students. That leads into the biggest, most awful, most tragic event.
Yeah.
Okay. Ha!
Works cited. Danganronpa /0.
Is that a game? Is that one of the spin-offs? Danganronpa Zero?
I don't think so.
No.
Heard of it.
Huh.
That's a cool title for one.
Yeah, that's why I thought for a second I was like, With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Hajime.
Oh, it's a novel.
Yeah, it is. There's 2 volumes to it.
Oh. Alright then.
A light
Like a
novel.
visual novel?
Oh,
Light
wow.
novel.
It's a manga, basically.
Let me play it. No. Give me the lore.
You could always do a reading. What irony! For a genius known as the Ultimate Hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. Oh, you should be lucky that you're incompetent.
He always has to lead up to something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But Ultimate Hope? Nagito mentioned that before, but it looks like it means something completely different here. Or does it? What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. Hajime, no. It said the Reserve Corps students began an uprising. What about me? Was I a participant? Probably. No, probably. There's no way. I have no reason to do something like that. Okay. I feel like I'm investigating myself.
Right?
Like I'm gonna be...
I'm the problem.
I'm gonna be outed for being a murderer.
I'm the problem, it's me.
I've learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who's this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly... That's Junko, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I don't think
Maybe?
so. Because I remember Junko and Mukuro mentioning in the last game that they just snuck into the group of people that were there, and then they got bored, and that's why they decided to do the killing game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that they decided to use that incident to their advantage. Maybe.
Because
But also,
I thought that's
it-
how she started the killing game, was by, defuncting
But
the
it was-
school.
But it was her and her sister, and this is just a student, not two.
Mukuro wasn't a student at the school at the time. Wasn't she? She would have been overseas being Fenrir.
Well, I mean, they started in the same year. Yeah, because they're the same age.
Like, yeah, I thought they were.
Yeah, I meant more so that, maybe she just literally wasn't at the school at that time. I don't know how Fenrir operates. We need you now. Alright. Goodbye.
Hey, I got scouted by Hope's Peak. See ya.
Militant assassin organization. I have to go to school. Bye.
Bye.
They were a secret organization, which is strange that they knew about her.
Well,
I mean, this is Hope's Peak.
They know
Yeah.
everything.
Connected to the
everybody.
Illuminati. Yeah.
this is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. Yeah, it sure is. For posterity. Alrighty. Where will I be this time? Who will be there? Not Kazuichi.
Hopefully.
No, I mean, he's gone already. So-
Hey.
Oh, good.
That's fine, I don't care.
Now it's Akane. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, it was like, which one's that? Ugh.
I don't
Well,
want
that's
to
a fun hallway. Why do you want to go down the hallway?
She wants to explore the blue hallways first.
You'll have to go down that hallway eventually.
Blue hallway first.
I heard the little thing. I don't want to.
It doesn't look. Oh. Can't go anywhere else. It doesn't look nice.
I know.
It doesn't look nice.
Don't worry. There's no jump scares in this game.
But it doesn't
Well,
look
except-
nice.
I mean, there's that one hallway that there's a jump scare.
I will
yeah,
kill
the
you,
Kazuichi
bird.
jumps there.
I will fry you.
You already saw that hallway. You're good.
Oh, is that the principal's office?
You can already see it from here. You're good.
Raw.
We already know it's at the other end.
Liminal space.
Yeah, I don't like liminal spaces.
Biology.
The hidden Monokuma is in this room.
Oh, so we're going raw in the bio lab. Gotcha.
Boy.
I see him. He's under the desk.
Ew.
I see.
I don't like
a
the
really
manga.
creepy looking manga.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's getting Junji Ito vibes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of.
Is it
the
for
game.
morons?
It's like I'm in a freezer or something. I should hurry up and investigate all the dead bodies that are in here.
See if we can
Oh, true,
oh
yeah,
my
we
god.
still got
What if
some
we
more.
find all the dead bodies of all the people from the last game still?
You're like, they're still here? Ew.
I
I've
mean,
seen
where else
this.
did they go?
I like that Hajime knew what it was immediately.
Mhm.
It actually took a while for the first game kids to be like, what if these are that kind of fridge? When we first came into this room, they were just like, oh, it's cold, bye.
I mean, Hajime's already proven to be slightly more intelligent than some of the people from last game.
I know, and yet he's a reserve corps
Only
student.
slightly.
Sus. Suspicious. I've seen this in movies. It's a refrigerator for preserving dead bodies. That or he just watches movies, I guess, instead of the other kids.
Yeah. It
Or
could
he's
also
just
be
got-
that having talent makes you weird.
He's also got common sense. That could be it.
I have a talent and I know all about that, and I know nothing else.
He's
There's
not
a
as
difference
privileged
between
as
being
everybody else.
Scouted and having to take an exam.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He grew up having to learn common sense where everybody else is so privileged.
Yeah.
They didn't need it.
Yay.
Or poor.
That's what they look like. But it's not possible, right? Keeping dead bodies in a high school biolab isn't something you should joke about. It feels so forced. This idea should have been cancelled during development or something. Hajime. Hajime!
Hajime is breaking the matrix. Leave him alone.
I can't. I am
He's
him.
like, huh? What am I
am
what am I
him, he is
thinking?
me.
Leave me alone, me.
Plastic tart. Why is this left out like this? Clean up after yourselves, will you?
Finally, somebody's
That's where we
in.
put Mukuro.
I don't
Leave
like
her
that we
alone.
can't examine this. We're not even acknowledging the jars of whatever.
Did you get the Monokuma?
Yeah.
Go.
Now we're doing the Junji Ito book.
Okay, it's not as creepy as I feared.
It looked a lot creepier at the
Yeah.
angle that it was on. Now it just looks like a girl screaming.
Manga for morons. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. I knew it. The biggest, most... What was that incident really about? It might turn out to be something lame.
Lame.
Well, they don't know that the world has gone to shit, right?
Whoa, what's with the background for this one? What? A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? The beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. Aki, go.
At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not. We got canceled. but the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. Then we got canceled in real life. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then, it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon, the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. A Bug's Life. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war raged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it.
Thanks, Ron, for a moment.
How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope Peaks Academy.
Is Volume 4 of Manga for Morons just titled A Certain Student?
A group called Ultimate Despair.
Or that, I guess.
Instead of using Hope Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of the society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. That's where we are right now. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end.
My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold because I'm standing in the fridge. No, it is because you're standing in this room, Hajime. Don't be dramatic. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is true, then what's happening in the outside world? You don't have a family anymore. You don't have family or friends.
I didn't know that.
The convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them? Not the Komini!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you?
You did this to me.
I want ramen.
Who would enjoy reading something like this?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy.
Sir.
What is this messed up manga?
I thought you'd obviously know such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair.
Monokuma is kind of implying that this event should have gone down long before we started school. But none of us knew about it. It's not just me, Hajime. No one else knows that the world outside is not great.
Sir, stop howling. Excuse me.
Aww. Pity.
That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains.
Or I could be wrong. Okay. This really happened and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real. Please, understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I'm off to the Combini.
Bring me back a sandwich.
No.
Oh, I
What a
see.
dick.
So that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning.
Well, as a headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know? On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here.
He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on the island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps... No, that's definitely it. I'm pressing X. Whether or not the incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, the organization isn't just one person, a group of people. That's what makes it an organization. If they're known as the ultimate despair, they're high school students, right? If they were actually able to do it, I guess that's why they're called ultimates. Are the killings we're involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death! Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. That was close, I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? This game is mean, making me turn around on my own.
Huh. That's right.
I'm not gonna lie, you didn't get a verbal reaction out of me, but I felt it physically. Yeah. Oh, now this is open. Okay. Fuyuhiko? Akane? I haven't talked or seen you yet.
Yeah, because I'm dead.
Ah. I'll miss you. Oh. That's also dead, apparently. Oh!
No, it's growing.
I assumed dead because I've forgotten about it.
Fair.
No Monokumas? Okay. Hey! Oh. Just said no Monokumas. I should ignore it. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see him.
When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was already, was suddenly here. Keeps glancing at me. Making me uncomfortable.
I wonder why.
It's gonna be shitty either way. So let you handle it. No way I'm gonna deal with that idiot.
But I don't want to do it either. Also, this room doesn't say a violin, it says despair.
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 Damn it!
Yes.
What? Clipping that.
Share
later.
my brain.
See, it happened to me too. As soon as I heard you guys go silent, I'm like, despair.
Oh, no. Fine.
Oh, we're slightly slow. Why, hello, Hajime. I'm doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right?
What are you doing here?
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. Teehee! I got bored of drawing manga. Do you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth?
You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place.
A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pot.
No,
I mean, hot pot is delicious. I can't argue that one.
I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up, what did you need to tell me? Speaking of hot pot, Gav, the place at New West Station is open. Yeah, if we want to go, we definitely have to make a reservation. That place has been packed since it opened.
We'll get money and we'll go. It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for.
I want hot pot.
Surprise! It's about the ultimate despair.
Huh?
Ahem. Hold on.
I am for real.
I did the and it made me cough. Pardon me. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
Okay. Hey!
Lady Junko Inoshima.
Junko!
Junko!
I
Question
cosplayed that.
mark?
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor. And created the ultimate despair.
Despair.
There was only really one. Nope, there was one really horrible person that in that group.
Well, hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl. My accent's slipping.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it. That's how cults start.
Mm-hmm.
That holds true for Lady Junko.
Interesting. Say Lady Junko.
Junko-sama.
Yeah. I wonder. It just makes me think who's behind this Monokuma that would refer to her that way. Clearly. I don't know.
With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place.
So she even recruited people who would have been So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat?
Then what was the purpose?
What?
But like I said, why did they cause the incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
It was Junko Inoshima's despair.
Huh?
For Junko Inoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Inoshima as Junko Inoshima.
What are you saying?
I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair.
What the hell?
With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who were recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko and Oshima. Like believers making offerings to their god.
I'm just thinking back to Mikon.
Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko and Oshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do.
There's no way something that crazy is possible.
Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope Peak Academy?
Final days?
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history.
What? What? What do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do.
Okay.
And so, the 2,357 students of the Reserve Department also all committed mass, what was it called?
Game over.
Skewer side.
Mass game over.
Mass. You know what? Can we call that now? Game over. Can we say game over moving forward? Because we've broken the major.
Yeah, no, I like mass game over is funny as
You
shit.
got it.
For this.
Mass game over.
Oh my god. But also, that's a lot. This really was a cult. Oh boy.
The Despair Cult. No harems, no hope.
Cult.
The Despair Cart Cult.
Shut up, yeah.
Mass game over!
Mass game over. It's even funnier when you guys say it like that.
All 2,357 students?
It wasn't all of them. One person was excluded.
Why? Me?
Hajime.
One person. Me?
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this.
The amount of times someone has said that in this game
Believe it.
makes this phrase
No.
extremely suspicious to me.
Ever since Teru said it at the very beginning a million
Yeah.
times.
I don't know, it's getting really sus every time someone says it. Like, does this mean something? When someone says, like, can't believe this, like,
I can't believe it's not.
Would you kindly?
Ultimate despair. Junko and Oshima.
Don't worry about it.
It doesn't scare me at all. I mean, Junko and Oshima's already dead. What?
she was one of the names. Shouldn't she have been in that report?
She was one of the original students in the report.
Oh, maybe. Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
She died the ultimate despair death.
Niwo forgot that. I'm like, how did you learn that, Fuyuhiko?
You're like, me? Where did I get this information?
What did I learn?
Suspicious me?
Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko and Oshima is really dead?
What? You didn't say it? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom.
Ah.
Oh, so she wasn't in the.
She wasn't in the original report,
Oh.
but Fuyuhiko's been in the room with the outlines. Oh dear. A bloody classroom? No, wait, what was that you said about the Killing School Life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Yeah, that's what it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy. For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima.
The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko is dead.
It turns out that Killing School Life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other.
Just like us.
Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole.
The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
The students of Hope's Peak Academy were widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once.
That's messed up!
Yeah.
But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed.
I wouldn't say she failed.
Yeah, that's still like 10 of us that got broadcasted, man.
Junko lost to the students she placed in a trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life.
Then Junko is no more.
No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Am I right?
Ah, no. Ideals linger after a person dies, Fuyuhiko.
Whether Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter.
Do you know where you are, Fuyuhiko? Do you know what you've just been doing for however many days?
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore.
Then, who is our enemy? The fact that Monokuma hasn't been responding makes me feel like the person left the room, you know?
Right.
Whatever
But
control
we
center.
don't. It's not even because we know that, but we don't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting how this game can play with that layer of meta knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much we know that they don't know.
Yeah.
Are the rest of
Because
the
of
ultimate...
what we know, it makes us question what's going on.
Yeah, we're like, but hang on a second, when we learned in the first game, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Are the rest of the ultimate despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? So yeah, there's no reason to fear Junko physically, but yeah, she still did all this. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in the killings we're involved in resemble the Killing School Life.
Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation. If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake.
That's a good way of looking at it. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras all over Jabberwock Island? Are they broadcasting to somewhere just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School Life?
I feel like I hear you crafting theories in your brain, Misaki.
Hmm.
Because every so often you kind of...
Hi, Junko.
Man, Hajime! You totally know about that story, huh?
What, do you have a problem with that?
Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
Oh, is that where Monokuma went? Was to draw more manga? Oh.
Or go grab it from the room that what's his face was in.
Oh, yeah, like maybe Monokuma heard and was like, oh shit, Hajime didn't read this one, I gotta go get it. Came back and was like, oh, he told you everything already. That's cool, I guess. It's not like I wanted you to read it or anything.